Hello everyone, welcome to Full Asphalt. I'm going to be off for a minute or two, so I'll be back soon. Meanwhile, enjoy the action while I am. my mic's been off the entire time. Great. Anyway. Well, I've been back since 8 minutes to go in this session, but hey ho. So we're heading through into the final part here of Formula Asphalt qualifying here for Australia, round 2 of season 8, and the first season on F125 for this league, a league formerly owned by me for the first 3 seasons. Then ownership went to Ashley Curtis, and although I would like to be co-owner so that I could access stage and things like that, AJ Curtis has been denying me of that privilege. But hey ho, as he's out of the session at the moment, same as Bahrain qualifying. If you didn't see Bahrain, that's purely because I didn't upload that due to silly commentary and also just technical difficulties on my side, as I didn't remember to save the stream to a video, so that's my bad. But heading round, we have the 2 Hasses coming through. I'm just going to turn the track map on so I know what's going on around the track and the lap data. That would really help as well. But that Bastian guy looking to hopefully close that gap to the Williams of Mink Kestrel. MMR Racing looks like he isn't here today. But it looks like MCL coming back as well. That's a league. That's another league that Ashley Curtis and co-owner Scythe are both in as well. So we wait for that exciting return. We have a Sauber off, that's Formula Fibble, who's gone wide at just before Lakeside Drive. The Hasses are getting in each other's way. There's Harris going on to his flying lap now. We'll see what he can do. He's very slow coming out of the last corner, the Prost corner. He's 7 seconds down in his best lap on that out lap though. We head through Turn 1 2. There's another off for Formula Fibble, and not the best time for him at the moment, as he's got front wing damage, full front wing damage as well. He only just went off, and he's down into Pinnacle corner, and he's in the wall again. Shocking stuff here for Formula Fibble, who's having to wriggle his way out the gravel for the 3rd time in this lap, and he's in the wall again. Is he trying to DNF? It seems that way. He's invalid, but he can't even keep the car straight. His Tame Superjazz is coming back behind him and thinking what's going on, and he's nearly blocked Tame Superjazz on his final flying lap. As can Tame get ahead of these two? No, he's had to pit. Did that cost him maybe a last chance at being 2nd or potentially 1st? Not too sure. Heading down. That is the end of the session for Tame Superjazz. Let's check in on Daniel. He's going down the straight, and he goes ahead of Tame Superjazz, a 10th down on Tame Superjazz, who retires from the session. Oh no, a 10th down on that Bastian guy. And Tame has retired from the session behind Daniel, who just jumped him in the pits. And Formula Fibble also retires, so that'll be the end of this qualifying session as Harris is round doing donuts on the exit of turn 10. And on the second part of Lakeside Drive, the American of Harris doing donuts. Does anyone want to do an interview? Potentially. I need to the stream actually, that's a good point. There's we see these donuts here from the American of Harris, and yeah, I'm gonna share the stream to the thingy. Hang on. Oh, I've been logged out of everything today. I don't know what's going on, but every time I've gone on something, it's logged me out. I don't know why. Like even on my EA account and all the stuff on my laptop, it's all logged me out. So I've been able to log back in, but create a new account. What do you mean? Having some Twitch troubles at the moment, not being able to log in on. Ah, that's why, because I changed my name, didn't I? There we go. And now I've got to go to my Gmail. Well, yeah, that's the end of that session then. 9/10 is the gap between first and second, with Mint Kestrel, the season 4, the two-time champion of Formula Asphalt, leading ahead of TBG in the number 9 Haas. Then comes Daniel, the Irishman, ahead of the ALR F123 season 1 champion. I've been signed out my Gmail as well. What on earth? Well, that is very peculiar. I've been logged out of everything, but yeah, we wait here for Formula Asphalt. Looking to race. I'm looking to make a driving debut back as well in Forza Motorsport, in F2 cars, in Vantage Racing Team, and in the returning league MCL, which is utilising F1 cars for the first time in that league's history. And it's been owned by two-time Formula Asphalt champion from season 1 and season 2. That will be Lando Max Clark. Oh no, season 1 and season 3 on F124. Lando Max Clark. So we hope to see him. He actually ended up winning the 24 minutes of Le Mans, which was an event hosted by me. We did a GT2 and an LMP2 race. But here we go. 5 lights on here for Formula Asphalt. And we're away here in Formula Asphalt, and it's a good start here by Mint Kestrel. But Mint Kestrel under pressure here by that Bastian guy. Great start here by Formula Fibble. He's picked up 3 places in 1 corner, and there's contact already. Tame Superjazz is round, and like Felipe Massa in 2008, there's a Ferrari round at turn 2. There's big battle going on here for P4 between Ashley Curtis, the owner, who's trying to own Formula Fibble. But he's not done so. Well, he's done so on Formula Fibble. He hasn't done it on Harris, though, as through the Somerset corner, or Summerland corner even, and heading through turn 6 as they go onto Lakeside Drive for the first time in this race. We have Mint Kestrel looking to defend against that Bastian guy. Down the straight we go. Is he going to make the move to the outside? No, he's not. As we'll go back to Ashley and Formula Fibble, who's on the inside of him at turn 10. That's a late move as they go onto the second part of Lakeside Drive into the turn 11 corner, otherwise known as the Pinnacle corner. Down the inside of Ashley Curtis goes Formula Fibble, and into the side of Ashley Curtis goes Formula Fibble. Ashley went tight on his line there on the exit of the corner. Probably caught out Formula Fibble, and that is contact for him, and nearly in the wall goes that Bastian guy. That was very close to a shunt. Massive tank slapper coming out of the Alan Prost corner into the first 2 corners and on to August Drive, the August Drive even. As there's battle in the back here with the Aston Martin, who had another tank slapper as well. The number 8 goes side by side with Harris. Harris, the American, looking to make it a Haas double podium in this early stage, but he gets driven out that corner by the Aston Martin of Daniel. Daniel and Harris coming through the Summerland corner, with Ashley Curtis looking to maybe join in on this battle, heading through turn 6. Daniel and Harris going through, and into the gravel there goes Harris. That was nearly a moment there for him, as meanwhile back to this battle at the front for the Haas. Looking to make a move, but not being able to do so, as they head through the Lakeside Drive. And down into turn 10. I think there might be a move here by that Bastian guy. Not at the moment, but not too far off for that Bastian guy, who's looking to make some extreme moves. Meanwhile, Daniel's lost some time, and Harris has lost some time. He's dipped a wheel in the grass on the exit of Niki Lauda corner here in Australia. And now there is a corner called Niki Lauda corner turn 1 at Austria. But there's also a Niki Lauda corner at turn 12 here in Australia as well. Hello Lara, I am alive, luckily. I can now share the stream actually, which is something I've been meaning to do the entire race. There we go. As we head into the 3rd corner, the Nelson Piquet corner, as meanwhile the lead is coming out Daniel Ricciardo corner and heading through Summerland and into turn 6, 7, and then past through turn 8. And then they have the balconies on the left hand side of the driver's eye as they head down Lakeside Drive. Lakeside Drive being called that due to the fact that there is a lake on the driver's right, past that wall, past the fans there standing, but fastest second sector for that Bastien guy who's looking to bear down the neck of that Williams, but the Williams just looking like he's able to hang him dry, and also a penalty stricken the Bastien guy in the Haas, so we'll remember that for the number 9 car. Oh god, pardon me. About there, and I think Harris might have just got in the gravel. No, his dot nearly went off the road there. So we're looking at Daniel. I'm going to get the Formula Game Companion, or from what I have of this league, which doesn't count Season 6, Season 7, and the start of this season, Season 8, as they head into Turn 1. But we can do some driver stat comparing of this, if I can log back into this again. And as they head into Turn 3, it looks like that Bastien guy looking to catch up onto Mint Castrol, who took the championships in Season 4 and Season 5 in his debut season and his second season. As we head through, let's do some driver stat comparing then. We're here for leagues owned by me, Ashley and Max, that all of them discarding all of them except Formula Asphalt Season 6, Season 7 and Season 8, which is the one we're in now, and it's the one where Formula Fibble is spinning out of just before the Summerland corner, and he spun again going through Summerland corner. I think he's trying to do Formula Drift, I'm not too sure. That Bastien guy not able to make the move on Mint Castrol. Meanwhile, Team Superjet, who spun at the start, Felipe Massa style from 2008, he's now catching up to the Sauber, who's just disappeared out of shot. The Williams heading through. As we head through, and look at that, the Bastien guy right on the back of Mint Castrol here, might be on for a move, not making that move stick, although sent Mint a little bit wide on entry. Mint was able to sort that out, but Mint known for getting 23 points per race. Same, or MMR getting 20 points per race. And meanwhile, further back we have Harris Big Magic, who's had a reputation for getting at least around 13 points per race. And then Daniel, who's further down on this list, known for getting around 9 points per race, which is the same as Faye, the same as Luxy, the same as James Quinn, and the same as... oh yeah, no, not the same as anyone else. It's only one under RJ, who is the person who in Season 5 Hungary made a triple overtake, as there's a penalty for the Bastien guy's teammate, the P2 man's teammate, who's in P4 at the moment, the number 25 American. As we head down Lakeside Drive, this looks like the best chance that the Bastien guys had all race, and it is. Going down Lakeside Drive into Turn 9, it looks like the Bastien guy takes the lead ahead of Mint Castrol, but Mint, will he be able to make a move? Let's get out of shape. There's the Bastien guy. That's only going to help Mint's run on him, and also that penalty as well. So on track he's in the lead, but on aggregate he might not be. As heading through Pinnacle Corner into Niki Lauda Corner, there's a little slide there from the Aston Martin and Daniel, who had a little kick of the rear end heading through the Pinnacle Corner. I'm surprised we haven't seen Kian for a while. Let's have a look at constructors titles. That will be, I need to look down at the teams for that. So the most successful team in Formula Asphalt is AlphaTauri and Toro Rosso, as there's a yellow flag in Sector 1. Round the outside goes Mint Castrol, who used to drive for AlphaTauri, and takes the lead here in Formula Asphalt as per usual. Mint Castrol takes the lead ahead of that Bastien guy, and then comes Daniel Culinary in the number 8 car, formerly held by Roman Grosjean back in 2020. As we head through onto Lakeside Drive, past the balconies on driver's left, and meanwhile, coming on the second half of Lakeside Drive, we got another Formula Fibble spin. It's been Castrol into the lead at Turn 3. As meanwhile, as I was saying, as the Bastien guy driving for Haas, which is in all of the leagues, as down the inside of Mint Castrol goes the Bastien guy for the lead, and he takes it into the lead. Great move, as on the grass there goes Mint Castrol. That's not going to help rotation wise, and as they go on past the Sauber, who was stricken on in the middle of the road at the Pinnacle corner on the exit of it. The Bastian guy takes the lead in the Haas, which in all the leagues that me, Ashley, and as I was about to say that again, Ming Kestrel goes back through into the lead. No, not going to make the move stick there. This battle is too good to be cutting away from, and it's only going to get better as on the grass. There goes Ming Kestrel. We're on board with Ming Kestrel, heading through the Nelson Piquet corner, and then round the Ricciardo 4th corner, then into the Summerland corner. Formula Fibble has been officially lapped in this race. Meanwhile, these two battling like animals out front here. A Williams and a Haas battling similar to what happened in Ground Effect Racing League, which is a partner of this league, if I'm not mistaken. As we head into... oh no, it's not. It's a partner of another league called Sue Racing League. Heading round the outside maybe is Ming Kestrel. No, not going to make the move stick. Into turn 9, and meanwhile that's just inviting Daniel, who is driving the Aston Martin, which is the 4th best car in not just Formula Asphalt, but also with LLR and MCL and Green Art, and not Green Army F2, but other leagues that me and Max Clark and Ashley Curtis have owned. Yeah, Aston Martin being the 4th best team out of them all, and meanwhile Williams being the 13th best team with 90 points collected from all those leagues, and they're about to get 25 more as through goes Ming Kestrel into the lead yet again. And meanwhile Daniel in the background looks like the number 8 Aston Martin could be invited to maybe have a go on the number 9 Haas. And 8 does become 4 before 9. Does that Bastian guy come before Culinary over the line? It looks like it, maybe, but maybe not on aggregate. Let me check the penalties. As a DNF from the session 4, and it's a safety car. Safety car, and that's going to really help out Ming Kestrel's strategy, and it's going to ruin the overcut, or the undercut, for the guys behind. That'll also bring Team Superjazz back into the race. So Formula Fibble may have helped some drivers out there. Nice stuff. As in terms of most successful drivers out of all of the leagues me, Lando and Ashley have done, let's have a look at who the most successful drivers are. Currently well, Ashley's done the most races and he's got the most points out of those races with 621, and I have as well with 748 points out of all of those leagues. Lando as well, his experience in those leagues as well, giving him a nice 523, but Lando, I think he's got good potential. He just needs to find that consistency in his leagues to be able to transfer those great results into great championships. Ming Kestrel as well with 347, considering Min didn't know about our league until halfway through Formula Asphalt. As into the pits there comes one of the Haas's. This race is really going to get shaken up. Meanwhile, let me check championship wins. So me and Max have 4. Ashley has 1. Kian has 1. Kamui has 2, maybe 3 if I'm not mistaken. But Ming Kestrel complaining the medium tyres do not feel the best. Let's compare Daniel to let's compare Daniel to Harris here, as that looks like a very good battle to be watching on this safety car restart when we're not watching the leaders knock 7 bells of all their might out of each other. I'm going to compare Daniel with Harris in about 3, 2... no, that's Faye. That's Harris. So, in this battle, currently, points-wise, out of all our leagues, Harris has got more points than Daniel, with 105 out of all of his seasons. That's better than Daniel's 91 points out of all of his appearances in here. And in terms of wins, Harris has 1 win, and Daniel does not have any from these stats. Pole positions, they both don't have a pole yet. Podium-wise, 4 podiums for Harris and no podiums yet for Daniel. And fastest lap wise, Daniel has more fastest laps than Harris. And then three driver of the day awards going to Harris. And then driver title wise, they don't have any. Constructors title wise, Daniel has 1 over Harris's none. And in terms of completed races, Daniel's actually done 10 races over Harris's 9 in these stats. Gained positions, Harris known to have got around 3 places per race, and Daniel seems to have lost 7 places from where he started, according to Formula Game Companion. Average position in races 5th for both drivers. Points per race is 13 points for Harris around every race, compared to Daniel's 9, which we said about earlier. In sprint race formats, we have Daniel getting more sprint poles, as fastest laps in sprint also go to Daniel, and both of them have had 1 DNF each. They don't have any penalty points, don't have any penalties, don't have any warnings, don't have any penalty seconds, blah blah blah. I didn't add these on, to be fair, so whatevs. But that is the stats comparing the 2 drivers who are in 3rd and 4th at the moment. Meanwhile, let's compare Thames Superjazz, the ALR Season 1 champion from F123. Let's compare him to... I don't know, I think I might want to compare AJ Curtis to someone, but I'm not... I think if I compared him with Tame, maybe. Let's have a look. So ALR obviously doesn't count towards leagues that me and Ashley and Lando have owned, so it's only those leagues that we've owned. But 100 points for Tame out of all of our leagues, compared to Ashley's 621. That's more down to attendance rather than actual performance. As 4 wins for Ashley Curtis compared to Tame's 1 win. Again, that's down to attendance, and that again 9 poles for Ashley Curtis compared to Tame's 1. It's also down to a bit down to experience. 28 podiums for Ashley Curtis, most of them coming out of Green Army, where we only had 3 drivers. Hello Formula Fibble. The audience cannot hear you, but would you like to say anything in chat? At all? Not too sure, but we're on the safety car restart. As I didn't even see this, it still said yellow flag on my graphic, as there's a penalty for Ashley Curtis, who we just seen comparing to Tame. As meanwhile, that Bastion guy who's ahead of Harris being Magic and ahead of Daniel, and wide there for Mink Castrell out of turn 4 and through the Summerland corner, turn 5. And they all barrel through, and the Alpine of Ashley Curtis has dropped down majorly compared to Harris, and it almost looks like a 2-class race when you look at it in certain ways. As meanwhile, it looks like Harris may have a run on the outside of Lakeside Drive compared to Daniel, and he will get the move done. It's a Haas 2-3 here in Australia through turn 9 and through turn 10. Harris takes the position away from the struggling for traction Daniel, who may be swallowed up here by Ashley Curtis, who may be swallowed up in turn by Thames Superjazz, heading into Pinnacle Corner. E84 Ferrari nearly getting past the 93 Alpine. Meanwhile, the Haas looking to work their way past the Williams, the lone Williams in this race. But Haas, the only team in this race to have 2 drivers racing currently, and just throughout all, as they head into turn 1 yet again. That Bastion guy coming through turn 2. Then comes Spring Magic. Then comes Daniel. Then comes Ashley. Then comes Tame Superjazz. Then comes the deceased Formula Fibble. From this race, is going wide there a little bit, is that Bastion guy. Looked to have a bit of under rotation coming through turn 4, also known as the Ricardo corner. Grass on the tyre of Daniel here, who's looking to get a run back on Harris. Spring Magic, the American. Meanwhile, Tame Superjazz looking to get a run on the Season 3 F123 champion. And is he going to get that move? The ALR Season 1 champion not going to get the move done into turn 9. And while Ashley's on medium tyres that are fresher than Tame Superjazz, he seems to not have the confidence or the straight line speed to get past Tame, or to keep him behind without him closing right up. Meanwhile, we have the Aston Martin heading through. looking to maybe close the gap. I'm going to switch the interval so you can see what the closest gaps on track are. I've just cracked my neck by accident. Whoops daisies. Anyway, we have Ashley and Tame getting very close together. We have a move here by Daniel on the inside of Harris Big Magic. Is he going to get the move? Around the outside goes Harris. Great move by the American. And that is a brilliant move by the Freedom Tower of this league, who now has to defend again on the outside and keep the number 8 Aston Martin honest, and he does, with a little bit of a contact between the two, heading through the Nelson Piquet corner. And Ashley Curtis just ran really wide there. I don't know if anyone saw that at the top of the screen, but he ran really wide out of the Ricciardo corner, and that nearly cost him a lot of time, and he runs wide again. Tame Superjazz, the ALR Season 1 champion from F123, may get past the Season 3 Formula Asphalt champion from F123 as well. Two F123 champions battling into Turn 9, and they will head into Turn 9 in a different order, not in the same way as Daniel and Big Magic, although into Pinnacle Corner. They're side by side on the inside for the number 8. On the number 25, back into the podium goes Aston Martin, and through the Niki Lauda corner, and wide goes Harris in the Haas. And in the Haas that in Season 2 won the Constructors' Championship in Formula Asphalt in F123. Is now on F125 going through the gravel trap, but now heading down the straight here. Tame Superjazz looking like he's going to close up. So that will be a battle to watch later on in the race if those two close together later on. But as they head down the straight, and Tame Superjazz looking to bear down the neck of Harris, meanwhile that Bastion guy looking to get Haas up a position into the lead of the race. Mint Kestrel though doesn't have to worry too much as that penalty hangs over that Bastion guy who nearly had a massive swapper. Meanwhile, are they side by side heading through Turn 6? They are. Harris and Tame swap heading through Turn 6. Incredible as they go past the balconies in a different order on Lakeside Drive. And that is a great move by Tame Superjazz, who somehow got on the inside at Turn 6 and got past the American, who is struggling, probably with graining on those 5-lap old medium tyres. That Bastion guy though takes the lead on the outside. Great move, that Pinnacle corner, and as he heads into the Niki Lauda corner, Mint Kestrel backs out here as Mint Kestrel has less to lose without that penalty. And heading through the Schumacher corner and round on the inside of the Alan Prost grandstand down the straight. On the outside and on the left hand side is the Fangio grandstand, and on the right hand side was that Bastion guy getting past, and Mint Kestrel back into the lead of the race here on lap 16 of the Australian Grand Prix as they head down the August Drive, or I forgot the name, I think it's the Augustia Drive, and into the PK corner. Harris looking to close up to Tame Superjazz as they head through the Ricciardo corner, and then flat out around the Summerland section down into the place where Tame Superjazz overtook Harris Big Magic. I wonder if Harris made a mistake out of Summerland, and that's probably why Tame got the run that he did on the Haas. Not too sure. Meanwhile, AJ Curtis in the Alpine that he was in at the first ever race of Formula Asphalt back on F123 in Season 1 of Formula Asphalt, won by Max Clark. And while Max Clark moved on to racing things like MZL and Forza Motorsport races, and while I've moved on to commentary for this league for now, at least. I don't know if I may come back as a driver soon, but not too sure. Anyway, is Ashley Curtis the only man from Season 1 who is still racing in this league. Very persistent driver is Ashley Curtis, although his pace may need to up if he can get a move on Harris Big Magic or Tame Superjazz, who's looking to bear down the neck of Daniel Culinary next. Meanwhile, the closest battle on track being the battle for the lead. No, it's not. It's the battle between Harris and Tame. They're only separated by 1.1 seconds. As they head through Ricciardo. And Daniel is out! Daniel is out of the race, and that's another safety car. Daniel Culinary crashes out of the podium. And decks his Aston Martin into the wall, and it's the second time an Aston Martin has crashed at Australia. Last time it was me in season 3 or season 4 of the F123 tier. Now it's Culinary who crashes out at the Summerland section and makes 2 DNFs for Aston Martin at Australia in Formula Asphalt. And now it's another safety car, and now the absolute best chance to pit onto softs or mediums for the last push to the line here in Formula Asphalt. I'm gonna have a look in chat and see if there's any messages for me to put to you all. I'm not too sure if there's anything. As Daniel not very happy, he says it's that corner again that cost him. As I think Daniel wanted to start on mediums, but apparently it didn't let him change his tyres, so that's not a good look for him. As meanwhile, Team Super just pitting, and he's had to wait for Ashley Curtis here. Oh no, he hasn't, that was lag. Never mind, as Harris pits, the number 25 car, and he does come out ahead of the Alpine of Ashley Curtis, the OG of the icon of Formula Asphalt, I'd say. One of 3, I'd say. One of the OGs, anyway. As the 2 other OGs are myself in commentary, who used to drive and was the season 2 champion of this league, and also Mick Castrell. And if you're wondering how many races I have won in this league, I will tell you right now, or how many races I have won in leagues owned by me, Lando and Ashley. That comes to, I'll compare it to me and Lando actually, as a little fun thing. Let's compare the 3 season 1 OG drivers. Win wise, it's me on 12, which is 1 more than Lando. And then Ashley only has 4 wins. And fun fact, did you know that Ashley Curtis, who is currently in P5, he won his championship in season 3 on the F123 game, and he won it without ever winning a race. His best result was 2nd in that entire season. And let me actually get the stats up for that league so I can tell you more about that incredible championship win, won in very odd circumstances for AJ Curtis. Let me just check. As Ashley Curtis, so his best result was P2. He completed 3 races, which made him the most attended driver in that league. He didn't retire at all. His average points per race were 18, considering the fact that he won. He got 2nd twice, and he actually, I think he started on pole for 1 race as well. Let me just check that for you. He did. He was one of 3 drivers to start on pole position, that being Ashley, the Fox, and Thermiter, who all started in pole position in at least 1 race. And meanwhile, Thermiter, let's see who got the most wins. It was so DeFox, Kian, and Thermiter were the ones who got the wins, but because they didn't attend all the races, they lost valuable points that Ashley did inherit. Me and Max also didn't win. I had a very troublesome season in season 3, big drop in form in that season and in season 4. And then I was just not really concentrating on Formula Asphalt. This tape that's very wide there through Summerland. Yeah, everyone in front now just waiting for that safety car to go in. It's MCL comes back on Tuesdays at 7 PM. As Daniel doing what Faye did in a race. As Daniel doing the same thing as what why is Ashley Curtis? Oh, Ashley Curtis is the Haas team principal, yet he drives for Alpine. He's a bit like Christian Reed out of the World Endurance Championship, who is the team principal of the Proton Ford Mustang cars, but is also racing the Mercedes Iron Lynx cars. So I'm going to call Ashley Curtis Ashley Christian Reed Curtis from now on. As meanwhile, the number 9 Haas, who's doing a lot better than Nikita Mazepin, who was the last person to have a number 9 Haas in real life Formula 1. Now comes through the Schumacher corner behind Mink Kestrel. When does Mink go? Mink goes now! And it's a race to the finish for the last 9 laps of this Grand Prix. It's race to the flag here in Formula Asphalt as Mink Kestrel leads. That's a move by Big Magic on the inside of Tame, who puts Tame out of shape too. Former ALR Season 1 boys going at it. The American who nearly got points in Brazil of ALR against the band who got the championship in ALR Brazil. Heading through turn 3 and turn 4, also known as the PK corner and the Ricardo corner. Actually going out wide there, and that will leave him without any kind of run on Harris, who goes past the corner where he got overtaken by Tame on the previous lap. He nearly dropped it out of turn 6 as they go past the balconies on Lakeside Drive. Who will get the position here? Harris looking to close up in the Toyota Sauber. Oh, Toyota Sauber, the Toyota Haas even. What am I talking about? Meanwhile, speaking of Toyota Haases, the team that will race under my team principal ownership in the Max Clark League, the MCL League, as Williams leading the race. Haas will get the most constructors points out of this race if they finish where they are right now with 28. And let's see who has the fastest lap of this race. Jail time penalties is on as well. Fastest lap is by Mink Kestrel, so that will mean Mink Kestrel will get 26 points. And another fastest lap by the Season 4, Season 5 champion of this league, the 2-time champion of Formula Asphalt. And the FA owner gets a penalty that he'll probably take off when the race is finished. Meanwhile, under a second is the gap separating the leaders. And under a second is also the gap between... So both Haas is on chases at the moment. So let's see if they can both win their respective battles. It looks like that Bastian guy might be able to get the move on Mink Kestrel here on laps 21 and 29. Is he going to get the run? He's 6/10 behind at the moment, unless he has a dream turn 9 and 10, or unless Mint makes a mistake, which is highly unlikely for a driver of Mint's caliber. And Harris gets another penalty for track limits. Heading into Pinnacle Corner with that Bastian guy not making the move. Same for Harris Big Magic, as there goes Ashton Curtis, the man who's replicating what Christian Reed does, where he is a team principal for a team but also races for another team. Heading into turn 1 and 2 with Mink Kestrel, then comes the Bastian guy, then comes Tame Superjazz in the 84 Ferrari, then comes Harris Big Magic, then comes the Season 3 Formula Asphalt champion from F1 23, AJ Curtis. There's a second separating the leaders, then comes 1.6 seconds between that Bastian guy and this battle between Tame and Harris. And Harris himself looking to close that 6/10 gap, and it looks like maybe, no, Mink Kestrel's got the run on the Haases. The Haases look like they're lacking in straight line speed at the moment compared to their rivals. Well, at least initial straight line speed, but they look like they close up when it's too late. Been holding off the attacks and the closed gaps from that Bastian guy. Whenever the Bastian guy... Oh, wow. I thought that was Harris going into the wall then. Nope, it was just a very aggressive turn from the outside of the second half of Lakeside Drive. And heading around the Schumacher and Prost chicane. And now down the straight past the Weber grandstand and the Fangio grandstand. That's the Fangio grandstand. That is Harris looking in front of him to see the Ferrari of Tame Superjazz, who is currently 6 months on from that ALR championship win from F1 23. No, not 6 months. 9 months. Now heading through the Summerland corner, and actually the gap between the leaders is a lot closer than it was before. Could the Bastian guy maybe take the lead? It's taken a couple laps, but that Bastian guy could maybe go blasting past. No, he's dropped to 6/10 again. He gets such a bad run through turn 6, 7 and 8. And he ends up dropping about 3/10 to Mink Kestrel. So it looks like he's on a lower downforce setup from what I can see. As he looks like he has the speed of the straights, and he gets another penalty. Not going to help him at all. That's going to put Tame Super Jazz onto P2. And that'll be Haas. That'll be a Haas 3-4 then. So Haas will get a podium, but it won't be second. It will be the third place spot for the Bastion guy, who will be ahead of his own teammate, Bing Harris Magic, who I don't know if they'll be looking to maybe take those penalties off. That's Ashley Curtis's round at the Pinnacle corner as he heads through Niki Lauda corner. He's 13 seconds behind, so even with that penalty it won't really change much as he drifts out of the Schumacher corner and then on to the straight passing the Fangio grandstand. Meanwhile, look how close that gap has gotten again between that Bastion guy and Mink Kestrel. 3/4 tenths like the lap before. Then look at that gap pull away as they head through the turn 6, 7 section. There we go. And it's pulled away a bit, not as much though. There is hope for the Haas on this time round. He's going down the straight as Harris has dropped some places. I don't know if he's maybe made a mistake, but this is the closest that Haas has been so far. So he's looking to like he's gaining confidence, and he's wide again out of turn 10. That's really going to hurt him. And look at Tame Super Jazz now. He might actually pass the Bastion guy on track if he keeps doing that. But 3/10, 4/10 is the gap now. So Mint, I don't know if Mint's using his tyres a bit more than he should. Heading into turn 13, and then round turn 14, the Alan Prost corner. I just got something stuck in my throat there. Heading down into turn 1 and 2. That Bastion guy, he's playing the Hunter and the Hunted at the moment, as the gap between him and Mink Kestrel isn't that far away from the gap between himself and Tame Super Jazz behind him. There's TSJ looking to take that 8-4 Ferrari ahead of the number 9 Haas. Oh, that's the Alpine. That's not who we want to look at. We want to look at that Haas, who's currently, look, he's gaining and gaining and then loses time again. That gap gets even bigger, and whoa, he nearly goes round there. That was Formula Drift at 180 miles an hour. 160 mile an hour more like through that corner. That would be enticing though for Tame Super Jazz to see, and for Mink Kestrel to see in her mirror, in his mirror. I apologise. As Mint seeing that, knowing that the Bastion guy looks like he's demolished his tyres in dirty air. Now Tame Super Jazz will be looking at that, thinking, "Ooh, I might want to have a go here at that Bastion guy." And whoa, he's round. He's round, he's in the wall, and at the same place where Tame spun at the start of the race, that Bastion guy has lost P2 on the track. Absolute drama for the Haas driver, and now he's going to fall into the clutches of his teammate. He's definitely overheated those rears in dirty air on those last 5 laps. There's Ashley Curtis into the pits. I don't know if that's going to be for the fastest lap. It looks like it is. Here he comes, he's out of the pits, and we'll keep an eye on if he can get at least a personal best lap. He probably will do on those soft tyres. And the track is really rubbered down, so actually he might have a good chance of getting a fastest lap. Meanwhile, Mink Kestrel going into Pinnacle corner in the lead with 3 laps to go. The two Hasses are very close together. Let's hope they don't battle too much, as in a league called Golden Racing League, there was a battle between the two Alpines who were battling at the front of the Japanese race, which was the first round of Golden Racing League. The race for jewels, as they called it. The two Alpines battling for the lead, and it ended in tears, or nearly in tears, as they made contact, and one of them spun off, dropping 1.4 seconds from the battle, but they managed to keep the 1-2. But will Haas do the same thing? Will they make contact, or will they play it safe? Let's have a look here. As the Bastion guy looking a bit loose there, as Bing Magic had a bit of, it looked like he under-rotated through turn 2, nearly hit the wall, using as much track as he could in that Toyota Haas. It's ironic that they're sponsored by Toyota, As Toyota, this is the same position that they've been in WEC over from 2022 to 2019. Oh no, 2021 to 2023. As they had a load of team order issues to overcome in the World Endurance Championship, but I don't know if they're going to have some F1 team order issues. And if anyone knows Fernando is faster than you, they'll know as wide goes the Bastian guy. The Haas is side by side. The American in the American car goes past the non-American in the... Oh, running outside, there is contact between the Haases. And Gunther Steiner or Ayado Komatsu might want to be on the radio to those guys and saying, hey, calm it down. You're only in 3rd and 4th and you both have penalties. As that is not the best thing as a team. You know, this is like Rosberg and Hamilton back in the days. This is like also Villeneuve and Damon Hill from 1996. As down the inside goes Big Magic, he gets sent long, and the Bastian guy goes back around the outside of turn 2. The Haases, great stuff to watch, but I don't know if it will be the best thing for a team member to watch. There's Ashley Curtis, the team principal of these guys. He's driving for Alpine, but he's the team principal of Haases. Just think of him as Christian Reed from the World Endurance Championship, in like that kind of scenario. Team principal one team, but driving for another. Ashley Curtis is going to be absolutely scared out of his wits about these two fighting on the penultimate lap the way they are. And the gap is now 0.3 of a second. And Harris looks like he's going to get the run again on the Bastian guy. Bastian guy having to defend Harris through turn 9 and onto the second part. Lakeside drive, onto the grass goes Harris. Don't throw this away, lads. This is a perfect 3-4 for Haas. And this would still mean that they get the most points of anyone, as they have 2 cars in the race compared to everyone else's 1. That would put them in the lead of the Constructors' Championship here in Formula Asphalt, I'm pretty sure. Heading through the turn 13-14 section, Castro leads. Then comes the Ferrari, that's just come out your picture, the 84 car of Team Superjazz TSJ. Then comes TBG, that Bastian guy. Then comes HBM, Harris Big Magic. And then comes AJC. So everyone in this league seems to have some 3-letter acronym. Mine is JS. It's just JS. And then Mick Castro is KMK. As Kamui Mick Castro. We're having a look behind the Bastian guy, who's got Harris for company behind him. And it looks like that DRS is helping him out a lot, heading down Lakeside Drive, and it's giving him a run on his teammate every single day of the week at the moment on this last lap. Doesn't look like any moves are going to be made though by Harris Big Magic, who looks to be a bit too far away from his Haas teammate. And now coming through the last few corners, Mick Castro has led all the way up to this moment. Control the race like it's a PS4 controller. And Mick Castro wins the race of Formula Asphalt Down Under. And the same person who lost this race, who lost second place here to me by literally nothing in terms of the gap. It was 0.000 in season 4 in F1 24. But Mink redemption for men in season 8. Team Superjazz comes home in second. The Bastian guy and Big Magic come home in 3rd and 4th, and their team principal is currently coming out the gravel in his LB that he started Formula Asphalt in. And the man who's took over the Sauber team as well in our leagues, known as AJC Sauber, we're now down into this chicane. Then round the last corner for Ashley Curtis, who will end the Australian Grand Prix of Formula Asphalt. I'm going to stop the stream here for a quick second, but then I'll be back to do interviews with the drivers. So, I will see you there. See you in 2 secs. Once I find the stream. There it is.